welcome back to Reading Sprints and Chai Sips. I'm your girl Sasha Bonet, and this is the second episode in reading authors that will be at Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses. I am enjoying this because I'm finding new authors and reading more books, reading more Kindle books, which is one of my pet peeves. I pay a subscription for that Kindle Unlimited. I need to start using it. But also, I had a great time reading those 4 authors, and just to refresh your memory, the 4 authors, because I have my iPad here, the 4 authors that we read in episode 1 was Aisha Bree, Kimberly Brown, Monica Walters, and Siobhan Latrice. Now, the first 3, Aisha Bree, Kimberly Brown, and Monica Walters, great, enjoyed the books that I read from them, but Siobhan Latrice is going to be a no for me right now. Since I've read 2 books, one was a 3 and one was a 2, I only read 1 in that episode 1, but no, we're going to just move on. So for episode 2, let me let you all know what authors will be reading. Now, I'm not necessarily going to pick the books yet that I'm going to read from them because I really don't know. I can't narrow it down for some of them, but I can't wait. In episode 1, there was only one author that I had not read from, and that was Aisha Bree, but I had bought books written by her at the last Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses event. I bought four books, and I read one of them in that video. So now I've read from all 4 of those authors. Moving forward for this episode, we will be diving into Nek Mills, who I've never read from, so I can't wait. M.L. Bash, who I hear is phenomenal. Natisha Raynor, who again, I've never read from. I also heard is pretty good. We'll see. And one of my favorite indie urban romance authors, Lakia. Now, Lakia is one of those authors that I recently, and when I say recently, within the last 2 years, I found her, and I've been eating up her work ever since. It's to make sure I know what authors I want to continue to read, what books I've liked, so that when I go to Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses, I can spend my money and know that the books that I'm getting are coming from authors that I enjoy. And let's see. For Lakia, I've read Confessions of an Ice Princess. I've read Love Headlines, Sweet Licks 1 through 3, Soul of Fire, Soul of My Soul 1 through 2, Saint Rambo and Gianna. And none of her books have gotten less than a 3-star from me. And I enjoy her books so much. So in this one, again, I'm not going to tell you which books I'm going to pick until it's time for me to start reading their books further into this video. But those are the authors that we're going to choose from. Again, Lakia, Natisha Raynor, M.L. Bash, and Nek Mills. And only one of these authors in this video I have read before. The other 3 are brand new to me, and I'm going to enjoy that. So let's get into reading these books. Hey, you guys, so I'm dropping in. You won't know how long it's been since the last time I dropped in, but it's been a while. But the next book we're going to read for the Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses vlog is M.L. Bash's Sprung on a Down South Baller. That's this one. This is what it looks like. I can't wait to read it. I just downloaded it on my Kindle, but my Kindle was taking a minute because I had to put it on the new routing system that we have. But yeah, we're gonna do it with this one, and I'll be back to give you my thoughts. So I finished Sprung on a Down South Baller by M.L. Bash, and I'm going to give it a 3.5. I enjoyed it. It took me a minute to get into this book because it had 6 POVs, one for each couple, one for each person. So three male POVs, 3 female POVs. And at first I was like, who are these people? I kept thinking like, who are these people? I'm used to having 2 POVs, and if it's like maybe a mystery or thriller, you might get a couple extras or something like that. But in a romance, 6 POVs is crazy. It took me a minute to get into it, but after I got into it, I started to like it. I liked the banter between the main FMC and the main MMC. It was really good. It was about these 2 siblings. Mainly, I'm gonna give you the main thing because again, too many POVs. It's about 2 siblings, brother and sister. He's about to get drafted into the NBA, and she just found out she's pregnant by an ex boyfriend, and so they're about to start new lives. And she meets someone, he gets drafted, and he then meets someone as well, and they start to build found family. I enjoyed this book. I would recommend this book, and I will be reading from ML Bash later on. There was nothing really problematic in this book except for one of our female FMCs has 2 parents that took care of a mother and a father that took care of our 2 main FMC and MMC, the brother and sister duo. And she doesn't even seem like she's close to her parents, even though her parents are the ones who raised the brother and sister. And the brother and they are very problematic people in and of itself, and that pissed me off because they should have been shown the door. Again, black people in this, but that's my family. I cut people off for looking at me wrong. What are we doing? But anyway, we're gonna move on into the next author we have for this video, and I can't wait. Okay, so I've chosen the 2 books I want to read from Natisha Raynor, who will be the next person, the next author that we read from in this video. And I chose 2 books. They're fairly short because I want to get the ball rolling on this because I'm so far behind. But I chose 2 that are not over 200 pages. And the first one is Last Day of Summer, and the other one is Mr. Still Your Girl. Now, these 2 I am excited to read. They sound interesting by title alone and the covers, but we'll see if Miss Ma'am Natisha Raynor is on my to-buy list. So I finished Last Day of Summer by Natisha Raynor, and I'm not going to go into the second book of hers right at this moment. I'm going to eat, have dinner, get ready for bed, and I'll probably read it tomorrow, but I will be reading from Lakia definitely tomorrow. Now, Lakia is an author that I've already read about eight or more books by her. I enjoy her as an author. I enjoy ordering books from her actual website. She's a great author. Urban fiction is her bag, and she's great. And I think Malice Matrimony is the series, or at least the first book in the series, that I'm going to start with her. I own multiple books by her, so she is an author, again, that I've read from already. So it's not hard for me to go to Southern Hearts and Silent Kisses in October and buy anything that she has, because I already own some books by her, but I want to read something that I don't own by her. So that's what I'm going to do starting tomorrow. But with Last Day of Summer by Natisha Raynor, I'm going to give this book 3 stars. I didn't gel with the main character like that, the main FMC like that. Her motivations were kind of off and skewed, but it is kind of like an insta love and Married in 3 Days. I can't get behind that because she seemed like a flaky character to me. But that doesn't mean that I would not read again from Natisha Raynor, because like I said, Mr. Still Your Girl is on my list to read. So Mr. Still Your Girl, I'll probably start tonight on my Kindle before I go to bed and finish it in the morning, and then we'll move on to Lakia. Imagine my surprise when I read 2 books by Natisha Raynor and they seem to be the exact same book, different font. So I told you guys that I was going to go to bed, start Mr. Steal Your Girl, or whatever book I told you I was going to read, but I started Mr. Steal Your Girl last night, and today I finished it. It is the exact same book and premise as the first one, just different characters. So this one, Mr. Steal Your Girl, has the same base premise as what was the other one called? Last Day of Summer. And in this one, Honey, I think that's her name, and Banks are the two main characters, is our couple, our Ingo's, end of story couple. But Honey is with this guy who she's been with for a few years. He's really good to her, but she's not really feeling him. And when he asks her to marry him, she says yes. And that's that. But he keeps asking her, okay, so when you going to set the date? Or when you going to look at venues? Or you ain't asking me nothing about said wedding. And she looks dumbstruck, like, So he takes his ring back. And he said, when you could come to me like you happy about a wedding, you get your ring back. But in her head, she's mad that he took the ring, but again, a flaky character, because how can you be mad that he takes his ring back when you don't want to marry him? Now, is it childish to take your ring back? Yes. But is it also childish to not know how to speak your mind? Also, yes. So it doesn't even matter how this book ends. Because again, this one has cheating in it. Last Day of Summer technically had no cheating in it. But this one, she cheats on her dude to be with our main MMC. Turns out the MMC and the other guy that she was engaged to are cousins. It sounds juicy, but it's not as juicy as you may think it is. They were just mid books to me. Anyway, we're moving on to Lakia, which is the book that I chose is Malice Matrimony, because there's 6 interconnected series. I want to read her Spyro. I was waiting, and I was like, when I get to Southern Hearts, I know I'm going to buy Spyro or Bricks and All White Bricks and all of those books. But I was like, okay. And she put out that Malice Matrimony 1 and 2, Bricks, All White Bricks, and then Spyro's books come. And you don't have to read them in any specific order. However, you meet a lot of characters in the first couple of books, and I don't like to be left out. So I'm going to start with Malice Matrimony, which I have started already. I don't have no initial thoughts, but I'll come to you when I'm done so we can wrap up this video. Y'all, I did it. I finally finished Malice Matrimony by Lakia. I'm saying finally, it only took me 2 days to read it. But before I get into that, there was an author that was missed in my first Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses video because the audio and the video clip vanished. It disappeared. I'm thinking it got deleted by accident. But that is, and you see me looking down, it's because I have my iPad here. And that was Siobhan Latrice. And before making the video for Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses, I had read one other Siobhan Latrice, which was Applying Pressure. And I read it on KU, and I had given it 3 stars. It was kind of like a stalker romance. And it wasn't bad, but it was what it was. I gave it a 3. I liked it well enough. But then I read She Got It Bad for a Heartless Gangster. And I listened to that one on Audible, and I am gonna give that one 2 stars. It was a young girl. This is how the book started off, with a young girl in her teens, was having a relationship with a older man, deep in his 20s, and her family didn't like it. They didn't want her to be with him. But she was also pregnant with that baby. And in the beginning of the book, he leaves her to go away to, I think, Florida or something like that. He leaves her to go away. It doesn't matter where he went. He left her to go away. And she cried herself crazy thinking about that man leaving her. And he was in the drug game. Then you go a little bit further. Her mom and baby passed away in a car accident. Tragic. That's two to 3 tragic things right there. Then you move further into the book. She starts to fall for this guy, only to find out he's a little off, a little batshit. And there was also the unaliving of a bunny, and I said, why? And yeah, 2 stars, and I will not be reading anything else. But let's get to Malice Matrimony by Lakia. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Chop is crazy. But that's my first and foremost. Chop is crazy. You don't need to know anything behind that. Chop is just crazy. But I enjoyed this book. Lakia books always give me a rush of adrenaline and some oh shit moments. You always have laughter in there. I enjoyed it. It is a marriage of convenience, but also a forced marriage, because one of our FMCs walks in on something that she wasn't supposed to walk in on. And now it's like, hey, to keep things safe for you, we're going to have to get married. So that happens. There is some queer representation in this book, which I enjoyed. Yeah, so, and it's not the first, it's the first one in a duology. But like I said, there's 6 interconnected books. And because I read this one and I really did enjoy it, like I have with all the other Lakia books, I know for a fact, I believe these 6 books I'm going to buy when I get to Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses. So that is the end of this video. We read 4 authors. I reviewed 5 because 1 came from the other video. And they were Nek Mills. Sorry, another clip bites the dust, but this is Dro by Nek Mills. Our MMC Zoo has just taken over the reins after his father is murdered. He finds out that his mafia family may have been dealing in the skin trade, and our FMC is bought by Zoo when he sees that her slimy uncle is trying to sell her to the highest bidder. I enjoyed this one a lot. I gave it 3.5 stars, and I will be continuing to the next one in the series. ML Bash, Natisha Raynor, and Lakia. And in the next episode of Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses, can I read all the damn authors? Let's hope so. But we have Masterpiece, who I've never read from, K. Nicole, who I've never read from. I don't think I have. A Blossom, who I've never read from, and I'm really hoping to read something good because I follow her on TikTok and she seems to be. And Brianna Michelle, which I think I have some books from on my Kindle already. I just never read them. So thank you for joining me in this one. Let me know if you're going to Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses, the book event in October in South Carolina. If you're not, which book events have you already gone to or will you be going to this year? And I will definitely see you in the next one. Bye.